It may not look like it, but we are not professionals. Do not try this at home.
Which is Butter for You? A Group 4 project by Bella, Jehan, Benjamin, Conrad, and Jeremy. Introduction. For our Group 4 project, we wanted to see how different butter substitutes performed in various tests to determine which of them are the best for your healthy lifestyle. Research question. Based on how butter and butter substitutes perform in various nutrient content defining tests, which has the higher nutritional value and benefits? Hypothesis. Out of all subjects, margarine will be the worst. Since margarine is made from vegetable oil, it will have the highest fat and sodium contents. Having high fat and sodium content is detrimental to human health as it promotes obesity, which leads to future heart and health complications. Furthermore, since it is made from vegetable oils, it won't have a high protein content as vegetables do not contain proteins. Protein is an essential nutrient for energy and fat storage, and thus it is crucial to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Variables. Our independent variables were our 3 butter substitutions: margarine, olive oil, coconut oil. When testing pH, we measured the color of the pH paper. When testing proteins, we measured the color of the solution. And when testing oils, we measured the number of graph paper squares that were covered. We used 5 grams of our butter substitutions for each trial. For pH, we used the same pH paper. For protein, we used 2 drops of Biorent consistently. And for oils, we kept the size per square of graph paper at 1 centimeter squared. Our first test was pH. Some general information is that pH ranges from 0 to 14, 0 being the most acidic. A pH of 7.35 to 7.45 is ideal for the human body, and going out of this range will negatively impact our health. The side effects from going beyond the acidic spectrum and the alkaline spectrum can be seen below. Find out if our butter substitutions fit this range in the evidence. The procedure can be seen on the right side of the screen.
I am adding 5 grams of olive oil to this test tube.
Going to be doing a pH test using pH paper to test the acidity of each solution, which will be useful to us when determining which one is healthier. Okay, so now I'm just taking the pH of the olive oil using the pH paper and then analyzing it to this. So as you can see, there's not much change to the color, but it looks, I think, around a 3 or 4. What would you guys say?
I'd say about a 4.
I'd say a 4, yeah.
A 4? Okay, awesome. So that's what it is.
Our second test was the Biorent test, which we use to detect protein content. Protein is necessary for maintaining a healthy diet and performing bodily functions. On the cellular level, protein is necessary for catalyzing metabolic reactions, DNA replication for cell division, responding to stimuli, and the transport of molecules. Protein also plays a role in building and repairing tissue while also helping with hair and nail growth and building bones, muscle, and cartilage. Health-wise, protein is a long-lasting energy and can reduce fatigue as it provides you with more energy, as 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories of energy. Therefore, we decided to test for protein content in the butter substitutions. The more protein content, the better it is for your health, energy, and well-being. According to our results, butter was the only substitution that contained protein content. We filled 4 test tubes with 5 grams of each of the substitutions, and we added 2 drops of Biorent to the food sample. We observed and recorded the color and data in the table above. As seen on the photograph on the bottom right, when the peptide is mixed with the copper 2+ ion, it creates a bond, and thus creates a protein chain or complex, triggering a chemical reaction which may or may not change the color. Thus, based on this test, butter is the best option as it was the only substance that changed violet, indicating protein content.
Next, we'll be adding a Biorent solution to the olive oil to determine whether or not protein is present in the olive oil. Let's get started.
Our solution is
So, as you can see, the Biorent solution stays the same color, blue, meaning that there is no protein present in the olive oil.
The third and final test that we conducted for this experiment was the fat test. Our procedure was we melted coconut oil, olive oil, margarine, and butter at a controlled temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. Then we placed 35 grams of the respective substances at the center of a standard piece of graph paper. We then allowed these substances to spread across the graph paper. We counted the number of squares on the graph paper that had been covered by the spreading substances. The more squares covered, the higher the fat content within the substances.
Go.
As can be seen from the table provided, there were very similar results in our tests. However, there were some key differences. Firstly, butter has a pH of 6, which was the closest we got to neutral. And this makes butter the winner in the pH category, as a more alkaline diet provides more benefits. In the protein category, butter is the winner once again, as it was the only substance that tested positive for protein. In the fat content test, olive oil performed the best as it had the lowest percentage of fat covering the graph paper. Thus, olive oil is the best substitute in the fat category. So, which one is truly better for you? Butter, based on its pH close to neutral, its protein content, and its lower fat content compared to others, butter is the better substitute. Our hypothesis was incorrect. Margarine did not perform the worst. Olive oil and margarine performed equally as poorly, based on the results of the tests. I'm now going to talk about errors and improvements. Our first error was in the drying process. The fats and oil test requires time to dry and spread. An error is misjudgment and uncertainty of the dryness of graph paper. Since we counted the sheets only 3 days after the experiment, it is difficult to know if the sheet is truly dried or still spreading. The problem with this is undercounting the oil and fat content, which leads to invalidity of results. To improve this error, extending the drying time and hanging the sheets on a window will allow the oils and fats to dry, spread, and thus be counted accurately. Next is the Biuret test. In our Biuret test, we directly mixed the Biuret reagent with the food sample. The error with this procedure is that we did not add an equal amount of sodium hydroxide to the solution, which is necessary to raise the pH of the solution. The Cu2+ ion will only form a complex and turn violet if the peptides are present in an alkaline solution. This could have created a serious error, as the acidity of the food sample could influence the result and color of the protein test, and therefore hinder the validity of the test and the accuracy of the results. To improve this error for future tests, an equal amount of sodium hydroxide to the food sample must be added to ensure an alkaline environment, which is necessary for the bonds to be created and the correct color to appear.